I'm Natalia Bonner. It's day 166. Today I'm going to be stitching using my 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler. Now, if you haven't had a chance now, make sure you do check out my newest class, Let's Stitch Scallops. The class begins January 1st. It's going to be super fun. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to be sharing a whole bunch of different videos teaching you step by step how to quilt some fun scallop border designs. So make sure you do check that out. But in the meantime, let's get stitching. I'll begin by marking a straight line right through the center of my block, a vertical line. From there, I'm going to begin stitching at that center bottom point on my straight line. I'll start out by holding my 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler so that I begin stitching right at that center point, but I'm going to hold my ruler so that it intersects, the first marked line is intersecting the bottom right corner of the block. I'll stitch a curved line to the right side of the block so that the side of my foot is right up against the right hand side of the block. By doing that, my stitching lines are going to be 1/4 of an inch away from the right side of the block. When I get to that point, I'll stitch a straight line moving towards the top of the block, moving up 1/2 an inch. So I'm moving up far enough that the first marked line on my 4-in-1 machine quilting ruler is right on top of my previous stitch line. When I get up to that point, then I'll adjust my ruler and I'm going to stitch back towards that center marked line. This time I'm holding my ruler so that the first marked line on my ruler is right on top of my first stitched line. I'll repeat this process, so stitching from the center, lining up my machine quilting ruler so the first marked line is right on my previous stitch corner. Then I'll move up 1/2 an inch, adjust my ruler so that the first marked line is right on top of the previous stitch line, and then stitch back to about that spine. So you'll notice as I'm stitching back to the spine each time, I am keeping my stitch line 1/4 of an inch away from the spine. Because I do have a ruler foot on my machine quilting here, you can see that by stitching just so the side of the foot is right next to that marked line, then I'm going to always keep my distance about 1/4 of an inch away from that point. I'll repeat this process until I get to the top right side of the block. You'll notice as I get towards the top of the block, I do, instead of curving out every time, I will make the top pieces of the right hand side of this design more square. Once I get all the way to the top and I've filled in all of that space completely, then I will travel along the ditch across the top of the block and then back down to the bottom of the block. From there, I'll repeat this process across the left-hand side of the block, filling in the left-hand side of the block completely. After I've done that, stitched all the way to the top of the design, then I'll spritz away those marked lines and I've got a darling quilt block design. Hey friends, I hope you enjoyed today's block and found a little bit of inspiration with my machine quilting. Now just remember, you can pick up the panel, the rulers, the thread, all of the notions that I'm using in this video today over on my website, peaceandquilt.com. And don't forget to share your progress pictures over on Instagram using the hashtag Let's Stitch with Natalia. That's where we will be selecting winners for weekly prizes. See you all tomorrow. Thank you.